Good Monday evening, everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Safety Stop. We're back for another fun-filled, warmer edition. What do you think about this weather, JoJo?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was nice for some yard work to get done Saturday and about too hot to do it on Sunday.
Well, we were right the opposite. We were working at the park, and it was very a very nice day to be working and getting things ready to go. And of course, Saturday is the official start kickoff to the 2025 season.
So we got an update on at water level then.
So, quick update on that. It is going down. Thankfully, it's down about 10 inches, maybe a foot right now. You're starting to see stuff like the handrail to the ramp. You're starting to see, of course, the helicopter. You've been able to see it for about a week now. So it is slowly receding, and you can actually get back into the dock side without having to pull into the water. So that's always a plus there. We
Not gonna
may,
get free wash on those rims anymore, huh?
yeah, you can't unless you go towards the ramp. You can't. But yeah, it is slowly receding, and so we still have. I think we're going to have probably about 12 or so pavilions that won't be open for divers this weekend. It's going to be easy to see which ones those are because there's you still got water in them. I mean, you can't unload your gear without getting wet. So, so they'll still
Uh,
be closed.
yeah, I want to see somebody try to put their dry suit on over
Well, just getting out of their car to unload. I mean, you're going to be standing in ankle deep water.
there. Yeah. Oh,
But
everybody
the
be on top of the picnic tables to stay dry.
yeah, exactly. But the good news is the temperatures are slowly starting to climb, which is a good thing. I think we have finally broke the surface of 60 degrees.
Time to
And
start putting up that dry suit now. Time for the
it's
wetsuit.
it's not going to be long until it's going to be a little toasty unless you're going deep. Of course, the official start is 4 days, 12 hours, 54 minutes. And the current temperature right now is 64 degrees. So, and at 20 foot, it's 53. So there is a thermocline.
That's a big thermocline.
Yeah, there is a thermocline. Looks like a couple of sensors aren't reading. So, but yeah, it's getting there. And then of course the big news, which I know we posted about it, I think Saturday evening or whatnot, and I don't know, it's like 150 or 160 people have already reacted to it. Trying to find it here, but the nitrox system is online. JoJo's going to be really excited for that.
Yeah, how's their streaming looking? I'm getting a lot of
Uh,
waiting.
it looks right now. It looks okay.
Okay. Just looking. Yeah, it's looking jittery and stuff on the other end.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's showing a solid stream. It flashes every once in a while, but you know.
Yeah, I am extremely excited about having Bank 32.
Well, it's
uh,
it's going to be nice. We did do all of our blending stuff. Mike was there, um, done all of our blending stuff to get actually got banked nitrox. After we were finished, we analyzed to see what the what's coming out of the whips, and we had 32% coming out. So it is 32% on tap. Let's see.
that was a big bottleneck. We try to get rid of those bottlenecks as much as we can.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. It looks like Emily's in here. Hello. Of course, Mike's in here. Mr. Todd Ransford. Hello. And Emily says, "Yeah, that's still cold." Yes, yes, it is.
So cold.
And now JoJo is his dry suit is out of service,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I need to figure out a way to get that fixed.
Well, we just had so much fun not this past weekend, weekend before last, doing all the cleanup and all that stuff. JoJo just couldn't help it. He got excited in his suit and his zipper went bing.
Yeah, pulled it right off the track. Oh, fun.
Oh yeah, but the good news is, with these warmer days, everything's coming up, and the temperatures are coming up. Visibility is getting better. Um, actually had Saturday between 10 and 15 feet in the shallows. So it is getting better. All that rain and or runoff is settling. So Mike
Sweet.
says, "Yay, 32, yay."
Yeah, Mike helps out a lot running those tanks.
Miss Petra just chimed in. She says Emily gets cold in 85 degrees. Yes, yes, she does. She did seem quite comfortable in the 84 degree in Roatan, though. I mean, she didn't act like she got cold.
Stuff some of those quilts down in there.
Yeah.
Stay warm.
Well, JoJo, what kind of news do we have tonight on the scuba industry home side there?
Oh, I don't know. Kind of quiet on the news side.
Except for the Red Sea.
The Red Sea is. I don't know what it is with the Red Sea and boats, but they don't like boats.
So, if you haven't seen, luckily, no injuries, no fatalities. Good thing. But another liveaboard did sink in the Red Sea. Um,
They're gonna
this is.
have all kind of wrecks after they're done over there.
Goodness. But yeah, I mean, I don't. I think they're still investigating it. It happened the last couple of days, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it boggles me how this is happening. I
Yeah.
mean, I normally wouldn't hear about it, but geez, it's been like 10 in the last 4 months.
Oh yeah. There's been something going on with liveaboards over there. For a while now.
Oh, but other than that, your basic stuff. Somebody got stung by a box jellyfish. Whoopee! uh, I thought this was hilarious though. Egyptian diver breaks world record for underwater pull-ups in the Red Sea.
Under
Underwater
what?
pull-ups.
Underwater pull-ups.
Underwater pull-ups. I can do
Like
an underwater pull-up.
like a pull-up.
Just
I mean, that's kind of defeats the purpose, don't it?
a little bit.
I mean, how much weight did this cat have?
I didn't open up the article, but geez, I hope they put a crap ton on them.
Well, I mean, that's the whole purpose of pull-ups. Is
Swim
upper
down.
arm, upper body strength. But
I want to
if
take it
he's
anyway.
did he do it on
Swim down
scuba?
36. Holding breath. So, swam down 29 feet to pull up bar, which he did pull up.
20, 29 feet. What?
He went down 29 feet to where his pull up bar was.
Okay.
Started doing pull ups, and he did 33 pull ups.
Okay. I'm not following this. I'm really
It's
not.
a free diver thing, I guess.
I mean, it had to be free diving. It couldn't have been on scuba because you
No,
could have sat down there and done that all day long.
yeah. So, that's weird. As I said, it's kind of weird.
And wasn't there one about ice diving too?
Yeah,
Another world record?
Russian made a world record of the farthest ice dive. As I said, it's weird. That we have nothing better to report on.
Well, the scuba industry is such a small industry, and it really does take, unfortunately, something either catastrophic or fantastic to make news. And
Yeah,
it's just one of those things you don't hear a lot about it unless it unfortunately is something catastrophic. I mean, like I said a while ago, luckily no one was injured in the Red Sea in this latest liveaboard sinking, but still, I mean that's catastrophic, especially if you're expecting to be out there diving, on other dive sites, not your liveaboard.
well, I put some new reef balls over in Lake Murray in South Carolina. That's in a lake. Weird.
Reef balls.
Reef balls in a lake.
Okay.
I guess it needs more habitat in the lake.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
Normally, you just dump a bunch of trees.
Well, there are places, especially after Christmas, that is what they do. They'll collect all the old real trees, and then they'll dump them in the lake for fish habitats. Which,
Yep.
I mean, it's a great repurpose. I mean, fish love them.
Yeah, they'll naturally decompose and increase habitat.
Yeah.
Uh, now you got a secret fishing spot that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
Stuff a bunch of trees there.
uh, yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with making artificial, reefs. or habitats. I'm really excited about the this new attraction going in, or this new reef. I ain't gonna say attraction. It is an attraction, but the America. When
Yeah,
they finally get ready to sink it.
yeah. I put it on the the page a couple of days ago. I think they put down another tug off Panama.
Yeah, I did see that. So they've got another tug that they sunk. I think that was towards the end of last week. That they have sunk. I didn't get any
Yeah, it's
details
very.
on it though.
No, it's just I think they got so many of them down there. It's another one.
Yeah, but the America's going to be, or I'm sorry, the United States.
United States is
The
going to be
United
one
States
heck
is
of
going to be a big one. We were talking about, when they sunk the Oriskany back in, I believe it was May of '06. We actually went down and dove it in August, and for a ship that size to be on the bottom, couple of months, I was really surprised at the marine life that had already taken it over. So, and I'm kind of expecting this one to be the exact same way. It's going to be nice to know where exactly it's going to be, the depths, and is it going to be like the Oriskany? 20 years later, the thing's settled. It's now, the flight deck is just outside recreational limits, and the top of the con tower is 80 feet.
Yeah. So I mean, your dive's pretty much at the con tower
Oh yeah,
now. Yeah.
yeah. I
Extended
wish,
range.
and I've got them somewhere. I don't know where they are, but I have the photos and videos that I shot when we were on the Oriskany, and I mean, I'd love to go back, but again, it is only thing you could really explore is the con tower, unless you are intro to tech, advanced nitrox, decompression theory. You really can't enjoy the rest of the ship without having technical certifications.
But it is nice to have one of those wrecks within about 8 to 10 hour drive.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's you know, the problem with it is it's a crapshoot to get out to, because if the
Yeah.
conditions are not right, a lot of operators will not go out.
Well, it's 20 miles off.
Yeah. Oh
We had the
yeah.
same thing over in North Carolina. If the
Yeah.
weather wasn't right, you weren't going out because you had to go 20 miles out.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I mean, the boats literally have to have their own weather stations on board to keep track of it.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Oh, I think I know where they're at. I'm trying to see if I can find those pictures. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. I want to set up a trip when they do sink it, and kind of do like we did with the Oriskany. Go a couple of months after they sink it, and then be able to kind of compare that, say in 10, 20 years, to see how it's setting, how it's laying, what kind of marine life take it over. I mean, there were a ton of scallops on the Oriskany when we dove it. Um, we've seen several barracudas. Again, a lot of marine life.
Yeah. I'm game. Let's go.
I'm game. Let's go. Oh goodness. Well, and have you heard anything if they have a time frame of when they're planning on, reefing it?
It got, I think it went to New Orleans or one of the ports down in that area here recently. Like just ported. It just got there. And then they still got to gut the thing and make it safe for diving and get rid of all the and decontaminate it and all that. So
Yeah.
we're
Well, and
still looking
also,
for a while for it to go in the water.
Yeah, and they're also going to do some kind of like a onshore museum for it too, like different things that come from it that they don't want to sink. They're going to do some kind of like a marine or a museum about it. So
So, if anybody's not familiar with the Enterprise or
the what?
Enterprise, right? The
What's
boat,
that? The
the sinking, the name. Crap, I'm having a brain fart.
Are you talking about the aircraft carrier or
No, the boat we're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, United States?
Okay, the United States. So, it was pretty much a troop transport boat used during World War II. So, kind of cool history there too to go along with it. It wasn't just a cruise boat; they actually used it to transport troops.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Well,
I think it's been used as several things, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, it just wasn't just a cruise ship, even though a cruise ship would probably be cool to sink.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you look at it, I mean, of course, it's going to be gutted. So, I mean, it's not, you're going to have the superstructure, but like everything else inside of it's going to be pretty much gutted. You're not really going to be able to tell what luxuries it offered, while it
Yeah,
was a cruise ship,
it's gonna be just metal walls with big holes cut all in it.
pretty much. But something else. Like the Mighty O, they had actually planned or thought that it was going to take longer to sink than what it actually did. I remember that was a big thing when they was going to sink the Oriskany, was that they said, oh, well, it's going to take you know 2 to 3 hours to get on the bottom, and I think it was like 30 minutes. It just like
Probably cut the holes in the right spot.
once it started going, it went. I mean, luckily, it landed upright and all that. But that was the thing about it, sinking something. Nobody had ever sunk something that big intentionally, so you really didn't know. Is it going to take a couple of hours for it to settle? Is it going to be, how long is it going to take? So it's going to be interesting to see on this how long does this take to settle?
Yeah, especially boats like that are top heavy. They just
Yeah.
flop over, laying
Well,
upside down.
when they sunk I think it was the Spiegel Grove, down in the Keys, they had actually had it planned where it should have landed upright, and of course the big snafu with that, it didn't. It landed on its side.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
it stayed. Of course, it stayed that way for several years until I can't remember which hurricane. One of the hurricanes came through and literally set it upright. I mean, how wicked would that be to be a dive master on a boat after before knowing that dive site, inside and out, knowing how it was laying, and then the first trip out after the hurricane, you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I mean, that would
yeah, that
be.
would be a weird experience.
Oh yeah.
You'd have to
Looks like
remap everything.
yeah. Looks like Mr. Steve Stormer's on here. Good evening. Says here, better late than never, and that is so true. Uh, so Steve was actually awesome last weekend helping us out and brought us some goodies,
Well,
that he baked
yes,
up.
thank you
Yeah.
again for
So
those.
just wanted to give a shout
I
out.
gained two
Thanks
pounds for
that.
that one.
Oh yeah, they didn't last too long. I think when he got ready to leave, there was like three or four, a couple of croissants, and then he had some like apple turnovers. There's only a couple of those left, and he had two big pans of them. So we appreciate it.
Yeah,
My blood sugar probably didn't, but I did.
let's say I jumped on the scale and I gained 2 pounds overnight for that
We just don't want you disappearing, JoJo. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's right. Guess keeps that dry suit filled out.
Uh, well, you did get a custom dry suit, so I mean, you really hate to turn sideways, us not be able to see you, and go camping in your dry suit.
Hey, hey, as long as I don't get shorter or taller, the thing will still fit.
Well, hey, if you get down small enough, we can pump it full of helium and then float you around like the Goodyear blimp.
That would be awesome.
You'd be like,
Oh,
"Hey, mom, look, I'm flying." I don't have to worry about seeing that size. That's for sure.
yeah, I'm not worried about that either.
Oh goodness. But yeah, I mean, the Mighty O was an awesome wreck to dive. Again, a lot of people don't think about the logistics it takes to sink something, that big. And, I mean, I know I can't fathom the logistics behind something that big. I mean, you're talking about a ship,
We
you
can talk
know.
about how hard it is to sink something at the quarry.
Well, I know, and that's what I'm saying. Shipping container. The Donnybrook didn't land exactly the way we had intended, but it's on the bottom. you know, so I mean, it is.
I
It's
think they had a houseboat at one point that was on the surface too.
that's the Donnybrook. That's the one
Oh,
that
that's
yeah
okay.
yeah. So it's one of those things. That it does take a lot of logistical planning, and I think it was a little over a year before they were ready to sink the Mighty O. So that's a big ship, and I think the O is, what is it, 1,000 foot long,
I
nine
can look it
hundred,
up.
900 and something, and the SS United States is not far off from the same length,
888 feet
888.
with a beam of 129 feet.
Okay,
So 88, 888 feet long and 129 feet across.
okay.
Serious.
And then the SS United States. Let's see. Steve says, I lived in New Jersey for 30 years and saw the SS New Jersey every trip. Docked in Philly the whole time. Glad to see it finally moved and made into a reef.
I'm looking. There's a lot of info on the USS or the SS United States. Dang, it has a long service life too.
Oh, yeah, it was built. I can't remember when it was built.
Started in the ocean liner in 1952
1952.
and served the U.S. Maritime Administration from 1970 to 1980.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it just kept switching hands all the way up to present. But where is it?
And
Length 990 feet
okay, so about 110 foot longer than the O.
with a beam of a 101. So it's a little slimmer though.
A little slimmer, but a little longer. So, you think about that. I mean, it could very well end up on its side if it's, narrower than the O.
And instead of a the Oriskany has a large flat fly deck, whereas
Yeah.
this one's more ocean liner stuff with big smokestacks and windows and doors and all that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's going to be a whole lot more water access once it starts sinking because of all the portholes and everything versus, the O, because, it's pretty much solid hull. Um,
Yeah, and the
they don't,
elevators was the only openings on the side of the boat.
yeah. I mean, it's not a lot. So, once it hits those portholes, I mean, that thing's gonna take on more and more and more water, and it's gonna go down pretty quick, I think.
Yeah. Hopefully they get it down there. That'll be a good one.
Oh yeah. Well, and my hopes is, they make it. I know I think Panama City has, or I can't think of the name of the county, but anyway, they have offered, I think, $3 million to move it, kind of midway between Pensacola and I think it's Pensacola that got it, and Panama City, making it shorter so you can go out of Panama or you can go out of Pensacola.
I think it's going out of Pensacola. They're talking.
Yeah.
They haven't set a location yet, though.
Well, and that's one thing too, and I don't know how deep how quick it gets deep enough to sink an ocean liner like that. But, it's going to have to be, in what, 150, 200 feet of water?
I'm looking for the height right now. Height 175 feet. Keel to funnel. So
Well, and I
from the very
know,
bottom of the boat to the very top of the funnel is 175 feet.
so I know I had, one of the articles that I read on it was that they are going to remove the funnels. The funnels are going to be
Okay.
part of the museum.
If
So,
they did that, you might knock off 50 feet or so.
well, I don't know how tall the funnels are. Steve says when it was docked, you could see it from the Walt Whitman Bridge. Yeah, I yeah, I don't know funnel height.
65 feet.
The funnels are 65 feet.
65-foot funnels.
So
Equivalent
yeah,
to
I
a
mean they could
six-story building.
yeah, I mean literally they could easily sink that in 150 feet of water, and a lot of it would be within recreational limits.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Now it'd
You
be
could hit
hard
the
to.
main deck right at about 80 or 90, 100 feet and still have quite a bit of it at a good diving depth.
Yeah, because you're looking. Well, you said 65, so we're looking at 100 and what 110
15.
foot.
Yeah, 110. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if they put it in 150 foot to the sand, that's 40 foot from the surface down to the top of the wreck. That'd be a good open water. Uh, you know, for open water right there.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to put it out. I think they're risking sunk at 200 feet.
Yeah, it's
Like
if
pretty
I'm
difficult.
I think if I'm not mistaken, it's like 212 feet to the sand. And of course, it's settled, so in the 20 years it's been down there, that ship has settled into the sand, making it deeper than what it originally was.
Yeah. So the Aristides flight tower is sitting at 85 feet. Deck sitting right now at 150
Hmm.
with the sand at 210 to 225.
Yeah. Well, I know for a fact in August of 2006 when we dove it, the flight deck was sitting at 132 feet, right at
Right.
recreational
You can go and
limit.
touch it and go, right?
Yeah, I mean, you go down, you touch it, and you start coming back up. I mean, that was one of the dives, the first dive I think we did. I mean, we literally went down to the flight deck, and then we started our ascent coming up the con tower. The top of the
I bet
con
you it was a
tower.
nice dive.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, the top of the con tower was I think right at 60 feet. So when you touch the flight deck, you're not there, a minute, and you start your ascent. So it was a decent dive. I mean, I think all in all, I'd have to go back and look at my dive log. That's the good thing about dive logs. is you can always go back and look, and I think my dive log's at the shop. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, 20 years later, here we are actually, 19 years later. Might as well say 20. you know, but, I have dove it and I did log it. So, I can go back and look and see how long that dive was, how much air I used and all that. So, dive logs do come in handy.
Yeah. I'll definitely have to keep an eye out where they sink the sucker and what operations are going to run it. Make a trip out there.
Well, I think
Maybe
you're
it's
going
one of
to,
those where we can rent a van and everybody hoopla down there.
yeah. Well, it's my hopes that they don't make it to where it's going to be more technical. Uh, they originally didn't sink the O as a technical. It was kind of multifaceted. You had enough depth you could do recreational, and then you had the lower part of the ship that served technical divers. And when they first sunk it, you could do technical and recreational divers would go out on the same boat. Now I do know that they put a stop to that because of injuries and fatalities. Getting inside the wreck and getting lost, out of air situations and all that. So I do know that if you're technical diving, you go out on a boat with technical divers. You don't go out with recreationals.
Yeah, yeah. Two different things. If something goes wrong, how to,
Hmm.
how we're gonna handle those.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. And the risk is really higher with technical.
Well, it is. I mean, especially you think you've got a ship like the O. I mean that those things. Let's not even worry about the SS United States. I mean, those things have so many compartments below deck, and there's no portholes. So, if especially right after they sank it, there's no navigation lines. There's nothing inside of it. And then over the years the technical guys have went in and, mapped it, laid lines like they do in caves, and done all that. But again, unless you're a technical diver, you're not going to be able to stay down there. Gas management, making sure you've got, the bottles and resources and all that. You're not going to do it on a single lady.
Safety lines. I wonder what if they do their safety stops if they do drift lines.
On the O,
On the O, yeah, you figure there's probably quite a bit of current out there.
well,
Jump right off to the road.
I guess it really just depends, again, on the current. Now, when we were there really wasn't a current. I mean, we dropped right down on top of it, right down the descent line, a visual descent and ascent. So I mean, there wasn't really any current at that point. Now I don't know. Again, if conditions are right, it makes for a great dive. If the conditions aren't right, a lot of operators aren't going out to it.
They might get there and cancel the dive too.
That's true. That is true. I mean, I've known more than a couple of divers who had scheduled to go down on it and go out, and they get there, and kind of like in North Carolina, when you guys went out there, they get ready to step on the boat. Sorry, guys, we're not going out.
Oh, we got to the submarine. They checked out the water conditions and said, "Nope, we're not diving on it. We're going
Yeah, oh
somewhere
yeah,
else." You ain't going to have that choice when it comes to like the Oriskany because that's the only site you're going
yeah, exactly. Looks like Dad just chimed in. Says, "Are you on?" I think we are.
to. Yeah, that I
Are
can
we here?
tell.
I mean, I'm showing we're here, so I guess I'm here. But yeah, I hope that they bring it a little bit closer in because that was if they take it out 20 miles like they did the O, um, unless you've got a fast boat, it's going to take you at least 2 hours to get out there. On a standard dive boat, it's 22 miles out.
And it's going to be an all day adventure to do two dives.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you're going to be on the boat for except for dive time for 8 hours. I mean, you're if you look at it, you've got 4 hour transport time, 2 hours out, 2 hours back. I mean, I done it once. I'd love to go back just to see what it looks like 20 years later, but it's not one that I would have made a trip to every year just because that is a long boat ride. Let me kind of set the scene for you. We get there, we load the boat, had all of our own tanks. It was a fun trip. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely loved that trip. We loaded up on a charter bus and left from Hopkinsville and drove all the way to Pensacola. That was awesome. There was only 17 divers on this bus, so we had the whole bus. It was just like it was awesome. We had seats taken out so we could put coolers and snacks and stuff like that. And they even took a row of seats in the very back, flipped them around, put a table so you could sit back there and play cards or whatever. But so we get there, stay the night, get up the next morning, roll up to the dive shop, start offloading all of our tanks onto the boat. It's a decent sized boat. I think a 20 or 22 passenger vessel. Uh, but we didn't find out until we was getting ready to shove off that they were burning biodiesel.
Oh, oh,
So if you don't have any experience with biodiesel, again, this is in 2006. So it's like smelling burnt McDonald's French fries. I mean, really. And we had to smell this for 2 hours out to the wreck. There was a couple of people that were a little green faced by the time we were about halfway. I'm included.
yeah, I'm
I've
so glad when we were on the Olympus that we didn't have that issue. There was no
mm,
diesel fuel and whatnot. We had a nice sun area to bathe in, or a nice dive deck to sit on, or a nice air conditioned cabin to go into.
yeah. Well,
So
and
it
like
really made that 2 hour run a lot nicer.
I think that is the only time I have ever gotten, I guess you could say, seasick on a boat. I don't normally get sick on a boat. I did in Roatan several years ago. Come to find out, I contributed to the omelet that I had for breakfast. And once that was out of my system, I've made sure not to eat omelets, and I've never had a problem. So I'm kind of 100% sure that that was food induced, but that biodiesel, man, that was whew. I was never so glad to get off that boat and breathe compressed air. Oh my goodness.
Happiest times getting off that boat and feeling better.
Just let me breathe off my gear now, on the way out there. I'll be happy, you know.
Oh,
I can shorten my dive time if I'm not smelling burnt McDonald's French fries. Oh
oh.
goodness. But yeah, I mean it's gonna be real interesting to see where they decide to end up putting it. How far out. I hope it's not out 20 miles. I hope it's closer in. But it's also going to depend on the bottom, there in the Gulf as well.
I'm really hoping they put it closer to Panama than they do Pensacola and Destin. Really.
Well, yeah,
Just because
I mean,
there's to get to.
yeah, I mean, I think we have figured, from the bottom to the top minus the funnels is 110 feet. So, as long as they've got, in my view, 150 foot, someplace closer inland that's 150 foot that will accommodate 990 foot worth of, ocean liner. I think it'll be more accessible for open water divers. It'll give more opportunities versus now a lot of people want to go see the Mighty O, but you can't get to it because you're not deep certified, you're not advanced open water, so it kind of limits versus this thing here. I honestly think it should be maybe 40 foot to the top of it from the surface.
Yeah, and Panama would be a good one for that because that's only about a 10-mile trip. So
Yeah,
for a boat ride,
can you hit 150 foot 10 miles out?
you're getting close.
I
We're
mean, because
getting about 120 or something.
that's going to be the big logistical question right there. Is
It really
it,
matters where they put it. If you look at the maps, they have some pretty deep channels that run through there.
yeah,
Now, if it's a good idea to put it in the channel, because they probably means that there's some kind of high current in that area, maybe not.
yeah.
But there
Well,
is areas, 10 miles out, you get that kind of depth.
well, the problem with putting it close to a channel would be shipping traffic.
Not shipping traffic channels. These are just natural
Oh, I got you.
geography. Yeah, where they're kind of just eroded away. Again, I think that would be an option.
Yeah. But it could be. Like I said, I would love to see it, in 150 foot of water. That way, you've got open water divers have something, that they can explore that's bigger. Um, of course, something that size, you'll have to make sure, as far as don't penetrate, and that may be something they look at too, because if open water divers, ooh, let's go in here. Good thing about it is it's going to have enough openings. You should be able to see light, but
Yeah,
you're
they
not.
got enough of it. You could, I don't know the layout, but you could almost make it where you can swim from one side to the other straight through.
Yeah, because what'd you say, 100 foot?
Yeah, about 100-foot beam span.
So you're probably looking the interior superstructure maybe 80 foot.
Yeah, yeah.
You
When
know,
you start shrinking in the upper structures.
yeah. But I mean, again, that brings into play, overhead environment. If you're not overhead, that may be a safety concern that they look at as well. Do we, once we sink this, we can't keep people from going inside of it. I mean,
No,
honestly, they're not going to be able to sit there 24 hours a day. No, you can't go in there. But as a safety concern, I'm seeing that as one of the possible. Let's put it deeper. So, I hate to say that, but that may be a
is there
reality.
really any difference from any of these other structures that they're sinking though, with all these cavities?
Well, yeah, but if you think about it, tugboats and stuff aren't that big. In the grand scheme of this cruise ship, they're not that big. So I
You're
mean,
right. They're huge ships.
again, there's a lot of openings, a lot of portholes, and doorways and stuff. Um, I'm gonna say probably you'll have light unless you get underneath, like in the hull itself, that area, and then probably the only place you'll have light is where there's portholes on the sides, but the middle is going to be dark. But I think it'd be interesting to see the layout and kind of see what their thought process is.
Yeah.
Again, I can see it both ways. I think it would be a great opportunity for those who are open water certified to be able to dive on something like that. But I also see the fact that they can't police it and keep people from diving beyond their limits, and something happening, and then they'll have to kind of revamp like they did on the O. So it's going to be interesting to see. Uh
Yeah.
oh,
I mean, it's crazy.
I was going to
Did
say
we
you're
lose
you're looking
everybody?
at something.
Oh yeah. I was pulling up the schematics.
Oh, the floor plan.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is going to become a dive site, eventually. I don't know if it's going to be this year or next year, but eventually it will be a dive site, and eventually I will go dive it. And so, a floor plan is perfect to start planning it out to see how you're going to offer that as a trip. Is it something that, we plan it as, open water and up, or is it going to be advanced open water? A lot of variables in that, until we know where it's going to go.
That's right. Be a
That's the
fun
hard
one,
part.
nevertheless.
Well, and like I
Yeah.
said a while ago, when you're actually sinking something, you know, we sink stuff that's big to us. We've done that. There's a process to it, but I have in no way ever been involved in sinking anything longer than 75 feet.
We have to use explosives to knock
Yeah,
holes in it.
yeah. I mean, most of the times we're using drills and saws, not explosives. I think the city of Hopkinsville would have something to say if we used explosives.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're just blowing up stuff.
We're making more room. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting once everything is laid out, and I would love to be able to go and watch it out on the boat. Because that's a big thing when a big attraction like that is sunk, is a lot of people will go out and watch it go down.
Hmm. Yeah, they'll just sit out there and watch. They ain't even diving it. They're just gonna watch it sink.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I mean,
be fun to be on the survey crew after it goes down. All right, we think it's down. Let's go check it out.
yeah. Joe's like, I volunteer.
I will be tribute.
I will go down and safety check, make sure everything's good, and not going to harm anybody. And if he's on side mounts, expect him to be there for a while.
Yeah, agree.
And if you go down with Brian, you're going to definitely be there for a while.
He will give you your run for your money. That's for sure.
Well, and on that note, I did get to talk to Brian today. Not we haven't really put it out there, published it, but he is going through the SSI instructor trainer course as we speak. He is scheduled to complete, I think, on Sunday evening. Is their graduation dinner and all of that for an instructor trainer. And for those of you who may not know what that is, with SSI, that is the same thing as a PADI course director, able to teach the instructor levels. So, which, with that being said, means when he is completed, that we will go from just SSI Dive Center to an SSI instructor training facility. So, be an upgrade not only for him, but for us as well.
Big things going on.
Oh, yeah.
Got a new nitrox system and now a new title.
Well, like I said, it's not. We haven't put it really advertised it or anything, but we do want to wish him luck. I haven't
Yeah,
bothered him the
that's a
last
hard
couple of
class.
days. What?
So that's a hard class.
Oh, yeah. It's well, and going into it, he already had his syllabus. So he knew how the days would go, and they're going 10, 11 hours a day, plus they're having to prepare homework afterwards for the next day. So in reality, he's doing 14, 16 hour days, and getting 6 to maybe 8 hours of rest a night for 9 days. I mean, that's a pretty intense course.
Oh, geez, he puts to the ringer an assistant instructor. I hate to do instructor trainer. I mean, word for word, you gotta get everything right. You can't miss a beat, and you don't get a second chance. It's like pass or fail.
Oh yeah. Well, and again, that's the instructor trainer part is the teaching the class. And then, just like Patty, SSI does the evaluation. So you've got somebody completely different that comes in and makes sure your students know what they're doing and evaluates them. So, that's kind of a you know, you better teach them good because if you don't, they're not going to pass. So, Emily says, friendly reminder to all who had tanks hydroed, they are ready for pickup starting opening day, the 26th. There are several there. So,
Yeah, I've done quite a few of them myself.
one or two.
There's a whole line of them in there.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
out of the way so we have room to walk.
Oh, well, we had some of our rentals that come back from hydro. So,
Oh,
there's,
jeez.
yeah, they're sitting there. Of course, it's all the ones we pulled from visual inspection day that needed hydros. So yeah, so we're gonna have to get those done. But other than that, I can't really think of anything else.
Looks like I'll be inspecting tanks this weekend.
Maybe one or two.
Uh,
You're going to be drilling over the new nitrox system. I know what you're going to be doing.
yeah, I was like, we gotta test this out now. How's
You,
it work? Remember?
you're going to be going down to the waterfront. You need nitrox? You need nitrox? Nitrox? Anybody want nitrox? Just because he's wanting to use the system, so. Oh goodness, but yeah, really looking forward opening day of our 31st annual season. It's going to be hopefully going to be warm. I haven't really seen the weather forecast, but again, like I said, just make note that there are going to be some pavilion spaces that are still in the water. Water is receding, so we will have signs up, or our detour sign will be up. Pretty much don't go in that area with your equipment or with your car and try to unload and use one of those tables. You're going to get wet. It's going to be cold.
I bet you I could probably find some of that yellow caution stay out haunted tape.
Well, we've got Wally's detour sign we can always put up, but no, in all actuality, I mean it is in ankle high water. Most of those pavilion spaces, so we're just going to have them closed because you're not going to want to pull down there in your vehicle, step out in water, try to unload in water, then try to get dressed. Now on your surface interval, you can swim right up and park it there while you wait. If you're going to do your second one, whatever. So there are some advantages, but there are also disadvantages. But yeah, excited. 31st annual season, 9 a.m. coming up Saturday. Can't wait to get this season started. It's going to be a fun season, lots of stuff going on. Women's Dive Day in July. We've got the aquarium trip in September, Roatan in October, Bon Air in March of 26. So lots of stuff going on.
Lots of stuff. I'm ready to open the season to see everybody.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
a minute now since October. So yeah, make sure you stop by the field room and peek your head in and say hi, JoJo. Let me know you're watching. I always appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What's
want to get hard at it and get everybody having a good dive summer. So
Is that your final thoughts for the evening?
that's my final thoughts.
Well, again, I have to agree with Joe. It's been really a short winter. It just seems like it hasn't.
Yeah,
It's just passed really quick. But we have gotten a lot of stuff done that we wanted to get done. Few things that we haven't been able to, mainly because we hadn't been able to get to the pavilions that's in the water to do some upgrades or maintenance on those. But as soon as the water recedes, we will be working on that post haste and getting those back to where they need to be. I think there's a picnic table coming out of one of them, and then a couple of boards on equipment benches. But really, I mean, that's stuff that we can do once it dries up, and I hope it dries up quick.
A lot of water to leave.
Well, it's hard to believe it came up, 4 feet in 4 days, and here we are, like 2 weeks post, and it's only dropped a foot.
Yeah.
It's just, but it is dropping. That's the good thing. That is the good thing.
Maybe by Women's Dive Day we'll be back to normal.
I think we'll be back to normal probably end of May, barring any more torrential floods. I think we'll be close by hopefully Memorial Day weekend. So I'm hoping.
I hope so too.
I know in 2000. Do what?
The visibility is at least better at 10 feet.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's definitely a lot better. This weekend, it didn't really have that baby blue look to it, So you could actually make out the 4 foot platform at the bottom of the dock. You could actually make that platform out, and see everything on it.
Huh?
So yeah, it's getting better. It is getting.
I don't remember seeing that last time.
Yeah, you really couldn't. You could barely make out the fifth step, let alone that little platform. So, but yeah, hopefully by Memorial Day, as long as we don't get any more torrential downpours. It was dropping about an inch every 24 hours. So, we're going to look at it over this weekend and kind of see where it's at Saturday morning, and then turn around Sunday morning and see where it's at then, kind of get a better idea. So, the saga of the 2025 flood still continues. All right, JoJo, well, I think that's all I've got for the evening. Do you have anything else on your end?
Nope, ready to see everybody.
Ready to see everybody. And, of course, as I always close, if you're diving with us this weekend, I've been waiting a long time to say that. If you're diving with us this weekend, we can't wait to see you. If you're not, we hope you have a fun, safe, and adventurous weekend. We can't wait to see you. If you're not able to be there this weekend, that's perfectly fine. We look forward to hearing from you next Monday night, right here on the Penny Royal Divers Group Monday Night Safety Stop. Don't forget, in the fall, we're going to be switched completely over to YouTube. And so if you haven't liked our channel over there, thought I had it saved here to where I could pop it up there. But anyway, I'll have it ready next Monday night, or we can pop the link and everything up. But yeah, make sure you like it, subscribe to it, because in the fall, when we come back after Labor Day, we will be on YouTube and not on the Facebook group. You ask why? Real quick answer. Facebook no longer keeps the videos longer than 30 days. They delete them. We want to be able to keep an archive, so we're throwing them on YouTube. That way they're safe. So anyway, does it make sense, Joe?
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
People can have whatever information they need when they need it.
That's right. All right, guys. Again, another awesome Monday night talking different things scuba. Can't wait to see the SS United States on the bottom of the Gulf and be able to explore it. Until next Monday night, we'll catch you guys right here on the Penny Royal Divers Group Monday Night Safety Stop.
We are the kings of everything.